fare, they would not figure to fare well. The Bengals, with that high-powered offense, best in the AFC 3 of the last 4 years. There's Dan Henning in his second of a 5-year contract, former Atlanta Falcons head coach. And heartbroken might be the word, these Chargers and their fans, after a
strength of defense for San Diego, strength of offense for Cincinnati. But conversely, San Diego's offense has not really gotten on track for a number of years, and the Bengals are somewhat suspect defensively. Some injuries and never an overwhelming defense. So we have a good matchup in that way, almost in a negative sense.
Kim Breach kicks it off. Lee Johnson, rather, kicking it off. Nate Lewis, the rookie. Lewis sprinting across the 40-yard line. And a good start for Owen Harmon and Quinn Early come in. First down out at the 41-yard line for Tolliver. And he goes long to Miller, and it's not long enough. They look for pass. These men go out. And the extra defensive linemen to attack Aloha, Ricky Dixon, and Rod Jones join the back four. Billup, Carter, Fulcher, the all-pro safety, and Solomon Wilcox. Second and 10 for Tolliver. The quickie is over the head of Miller. Miller on a little hit wide open, and Tolliver too tall.
Well, Tolliver's going to catch it today if he misses very many passes early on, because they do have a sort of a controversy at quarterback, but it's not as though either men are outstanding. Both have had a few starts in the NFL with mixed results, and that in itself is a determinant for San Diego this year. Can a quarterback come on, lead the team, and be consistent?
So a pass 5 yards short and a pass 5 yards too high for Tolliver. Tight formation, 3rd and 10. Walter Wilson, a rookie in motion. He's got some speed. Tolliver looking for a big one. He's got his man. It's Anthony Miller at the 40 of Cincinnati.
Beautiful pass, but what a catch. Anthony Miller, one of the premier receivers in football today. He's got everything it takes, speed, quickness, but look at this concentration. Good pass protection. Beautiful line shot, but up in the air, right in the middle of Bengal traffic, plus the sideline.
Wilcox, as you saw, his tackle forcing Miller out of bounds, ruled that that would have been a catch inbounds without the contact. And Miller, who led these Chargers with 75 catches last year, has a big gainer to start this first quarter.
Chargers have 3 tight ends in the game.
Marion Butts, the 235-pound fullback, twists for 2 yards, but number 50, James Francis, the Bengals' #1 draft pick, 12th player selected in the spring draft out of Baylor, made the tackle. He was linebacking position. Both Miller and Wilson on the far side. Wilson comes in motion. Butts again. And he is pushed back by a swarm of Bengals.
Both teams are going to use a number of offensive formations, alternating tight ends, a number of tight ends, alternating a number of wide receivers. This is a case of starting a play one way and then cutting it back the other way. And Caraballo, a blocker, led that. So you'll see a lot of things with a number of formations, a number of different receiver positions on the field, yet the same basic running attack.
Xander, 91, who's out of the lineup now, filled that hole well. 3rd down along 5.
Chargers are shifting around and using motion, trying to confuse the defense.
Ronnie Harmon in the game. The throw is to Harmon. And the former Buffalo Bill has a chance to go all the way for a touchdown.
Well, Dick, I mentioned a series of formation changes using different positions on the field, different receiver positions, tight end position, motion. That time, the Bengals blew a coverage. The Chargers shifted. No one covered Harmon. And once he got on track down the field with his great running ability, he made 2 or 3 people miss, and it resulted, of course, in a big score.
Harmon, acquired from Buffalo as a Plan B free agent. His home debut as a Charger, a 36-yard touchdown run with a short pass. Fuad Ruiz has the extra point, and it's 7-0 San Diego.
There's a snap of the ball. You'll see Harmon break out of the backfield. Nothing there. No one within 10 yards of him. Now look at him reach out.
Great cutback move, and another, and the Chargers have 7.
Here's another look at the touchdown. To the right of the screen, Harmon is breaking out. You'll see no coverage near him. Now this running ability, reaching out, breaking back across the field. At Iowa as college running backs, this is what made him a top draft choice and an outstanding player.
No huddle by Boomer Esiason and Sam Weitz's offense.
Sam will start out with a running play, probably a counter. Here it is.
James Brooks, the former Charger, met after a 5-yard gain at the 35-yard line. Quickly, let's take a look at the Bengal offense as again they go into the no-huddle. Munoz, the great pro tackle. Moyer, Kozerski, Blados, and Walter back from injury. The other tackle spot, Boomer with Brooks as his running back. McGee and Brown, the wideouts. Caddis and Holman start at tight end.
A no-huddle. Weitz would like to keep that defensive unit playing a very basic defense, unable to call blitzes because of the no-huddle setup.
So Smith and Barber come in when they go to the pass offense. Delay to Brooks, 40, 50, and to the San Diego 48 with a first down goes James Brooks. And Charger fans still wonder how in the world did he get away from San Diego for Pete Johnson back in '84.
Look at the trapping blocks inside out. Brooks reads that perfectly. He's got a man leading through the hole, making a block. Now Brooks with his quickness. Again, Dick, I can't understand how this man ever left San Diego.
Oh, he has young legs for 31. Brooks, who ran for over 1,200 yards last year to lead the Bengals. And he has 2 solid runs to open this drive for Cincinnati. First down, 48, 7-0 San Diego. He drops ball for a loss of a yard. Plummer, who has led San Diego in tackles the last 2 years. Here is that Charger defense. 3 of them with 10 sacks or more last year. Williams, Phillips, Grossman, Billy Ray Smith, Plummer, Seau, the rookie from Southern Cal, and Leslie O'Neal. When they're looking past, these men come in to join Gilbert, Seal, Bayless, and Glenn. Bayless goes out as well. And these then become the 6 defensive backs. They really like Donald Frank, a free agent from Winston-Salem. 2nd and 10, 12. And not fooled as rookie Harold Green from South Carolina, the Bengals' #2 draft pick. And Sam White says he's going to be a great one. 6'2" and 222 pounds. Lee Williams wrapped him up.
Again, no huddle. Now you'll see Esiason calling a timeout, but they were trying to operate without a huddle. San Diego attempted to substitute. They got their people in, and Esiason didn't like what he saw.
His first of the game, 43 yards, and San Diego takes over just inside the 17. 7-0 Chargers. Wilson in motion. And it's Butts to the outside. And the big guy from Florida State, 248 pounds of him, blasts near a first down.
San Diego coming in with 2 tight ends and breaking off to the left this case because Fulcher had lined up on the other side. So there's a method to the madness. 2 tight ends and find Fulcher and run away from him.
2nd down, a short 2.
Back it up. Again, a major shift by San Diego. Very strong to their right.
Butts met in the backfield. Still stays on his feet. David Grant made the hit, but Butts driving forward close to a first down.
You'll see a 3 tight end offense, basically, and you'll see San Diego from the left shifting all the way over to the right. You'll see 4 people there to block underneath. And we had an unblocked man, Buck, but otherwise San Diego was trying to stretch that defense.
Butts picked up the first down. That was a good effort by the young fullback. Tolliver protected well. Hits Miller. Anthony Miller, the 45, out of bounds yards at the Bengal 42. Boy, this young wide receiver from Tennessee.
The Bengals have excellent receivers, but Miller's the class of the field. Good pass protection off the fake. Moving and throwing, that's an excellent pass, going across the field and catching it in what could be real traffic. Miller can dominate a game. He's one of the few football players playing wide receiver, much like a Jerry Rice. They can actually dominate the outcome of a game.
30 yards on that one. He's already picked up 48 on 2 catches. He sets a goal each game of at least 5, which would work out to 80 on a season. Screen. Joe Caravella, the H-back, not real fast. And a penalty flag goes down as Caravella makes about 4. It appeared that Broderick Thompson may have made a block in the back.
Broderick had a choice of letting it go or taking a shot. He tried to block very late and caught his man right at the ankles, but it was a clip. Very well set up play, very well executed.
Clipping by the offense, number 76, 15 yards, still first down.
So a big 15-yard penalty against the Chargers.
You can see right now in the middle of the screen, there's the block thrown from behind, right on the back of the leg. In the open field, there are 2 people. The head linesman especially can see.
The man blocked from behind. Fortunately, he's okay. Quinn Early comes in as an extra wide receiver. Long yardage for Tolliver. And he goes long, has a man open. It's Wilson, and he can't hang on at the 15-yard line.
And if they can't do better than that, then Tolliver's going to have a good day.
Second down 25 at the San Diego 42. Draw play to Harmon. Read well, and filling the hole was Kevin Walker, the new inside linebacker from Maryland. Teams he really wants to play. They've really pleased with that Plan B acquisition. Third down and 23 for Tolliver. To this side, almost a one-handed grab by Wilson. Rod Jones on the coverage, and the punting team and John Kidd, another Buffalo.
20 new players on this Charger team.
Mitchell Price from Tulane, a rookie, back at the 10. Ooh. Fair catch by Price at the 22-yard line. They finished last season 6-10, but somewhat misleading. Of their 16 games, 14 were decided by 7 points or less. They lost a lot of tough ones, and then to open this year with that 4th quarter defeat at Dallas really sat the fans back. They've got to start to believe here. Gomer Esiason intercepted. Billy Ray Smith to the 22.
Again, that power formation to the right with a handoff in that direction.
Marion Butts. Boy, he's a load driving down to the 16.
Now they find that he can run the 40 in the 4.6 area with 250 pounds. And he has excellent running intuition in a sense because he doesn't have the experience. But are they pleased with him?
390.
Tolliver throwing. Carabella, touchdown.
Receiver. But to this point in this game, it's been very good.
Reveiz adds the extra point, and with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left in the quarter, flag down. Let's see. Francis did in his senior year at Baylor. 13-0, so the penalty cost the Chargers a big point.
Right between both people. Excellent catch. Now, he wasn't held up by Carter that time, and consequently, he was free to release between 2 defenders.
But the celebration doesn't continue because instead of it 14-0, the penalty now what amounts to a 30-yard extra point. Look at Francis driving through and making a clean block. And that's another element that he brings to this defense of Cincinnati. Francis,
4 of the top linebackers in the league coming into the draft.
Reve's kick spins down short to ball at the 10. Former UCLA star hit hard and falls to the 25. Quickly, let's bring you right up to date on all the other scores. The early finals, Miami goes 2-0. Detroit 1-1 as they battle run and shoots. They beat Jerry Glanville's Falcons. The Bears have allowed only 1 touchdown in 2 games. They're 2-0. The Jets beat Cleveland 24-21 in their home opener, and the Rams slug Tampa Bay 35-14. It was New England squeaking by Indianapolis, and Phoenix, there's the surprise of the day at Philadelphia, 23-21. Late scores, the Raiders and the 49ers early field goal leads, as does Minnesota.
Again, the no-huddle offense coming right from the sideline to the line of scrimmage, hoping to just wear out that San Diego defense. No way.
Rookie Harold Green right into the arms of Leslie O'Neal.
Premier player, Leslie O'Neal. Lee Williams, premier player. Bert Grossman, they believe, can become one. The Chargers have some great personnel defensively, and at this point, the Bengals just aren't handling them. They're right from the edges of the offense. That Charger defense is taking them apart.
And we haven't called Junior Seau's name yet, but you're going to see an outstanding prospect there as well. Boomer rolling to get time. Throws back across, complete to Eddie Brown at midfield. First down.
Excellent strategy by Sam Weich. They give him trouble in the pass rush. Now he sprints his quarterback well outside of everybody, getting away from the pass rush, and Boomer to his left, sets up, knows just where to throw the ball. Great catch. Now that brings the Bengals back. Again, no huddle. They're right at the line.
Vincey Glenn made the tackle. First down for Weich's Bengals on their half of the 50. Rolling the other way. Incomplete to Brown. Donald Frank, one of the Chargers on the coverage.
I bet Boomer wants that back. He started last week's game very, very slow, having real problems, and he just can't afford to do that now. Down by 2 touchdowns, he's going to have to hit everything that's open. Again, no huddle. This is their attack mode right at the line of scrimmage. Everybody gathers. They discuss, in a sense, what the play will be. Everybody's talking about blocking combinations, the formation. Here they go.
And that keeps the same San Diego defense on the field. And in essence, Weich, with this approach, dictates what defense that the offense of the Bengals will be facing. What personnel? Drills this one incomplete. Broken up by Donald Frank, number 27.
Excellent coverage. Frank was all over that. Boomer had to sort of telegraph that throw. He had a lot of heat on him, and he looked right to his receiver quickly, and Frank read it just as quickly as the receiver.
Kendall Smith from Utah State in his second year was the intended target, and Donald Frank was a safety all through college. They've made him a cornerback, and they really feel they found a gem in this young guy. 6 feet, 200 pounds, can run with anyone. They knew he was good when he covered Anthony Miller so well in practice. Boomer under pressure, hit. And his pass is way short, intended for Tim McGee.
Well, I'm sure the Charger defensive staff are pleased. Ron Lynn, the coach, very pleased with his ability to put the heat on here. You see, Boomer is not getting a lot of room to step into his throw. He's got people all over him.
Bert Grossman was the man who made the hit just as he released it.
Joe Walter is getting pushed back into Boomer by Grossman, just shoving him right back into Boomer.
Lee Johnson lifts one toward the rookie Mays. Doesn't call fair catch and eats it at the 15.
Moving the ball effectively, something the Bengals didn't expect.
13-0 San Diego. 3:27 left first quarter. Rod Bernstein, the tight end that's been converted to a tailback, gets out to the 21-yard line. Bernstein was the #1 pick out of Texas A&M as a tight end.
Operated players as he came out of Texas A&M, but they haven't found a niche because he doesn't block like as they expect of a tight end. He's just not strong enough at the point of attack.
Second down, a short 6. Tolliver to Wilson. And he has the first down at the
receiver and eliminate any running. That time Village just gave way too much ground. Excellent game plan by the Chargers to this point.
Here's Bernstein. Boy, he's a big target, but he also eats up yardage in a hurry with those long strides. Known for their offense, racking up a big number in this first quarter, 146 yards. It's remindful of the last time these two teams played in San Diego was back in '82. Over 1,100 yards as Dan Fouts and Kenny Anderson both threw for over 400 yards each. And the Chargers won that game 50-34. Tolliver going deep. One-handed but out of bounds. Boy, that Miller, he stabs it with one hand. Would have been good, but he juggled just a moment before going out of bounds.
Now, part of that is because Tolliver can put so much on that ball and get up there so quickly. He's got a razor-quick arm. Had just an average training camp, but at this point, I'm sure they're pleased. Now, part of that is because Tolliver can put so much on that ball and get up there so quickly. He's got a razor-quick arm. Had just an average training camp, but at this point, I'm sure they're pleased. The Bengals just aren't responding very well. They're not attacking defensively. They're absorbing at this point. A lot of time. See that time?
And a man wide open, but a fine closing play by Carl Carter, intended for Walter Wilson, and Carter exploding to the ball, able to get a hand in there and break it up.
Recent years, but they've made some good, solid trades to fill real voids that have developed, and Sam White is really hopeful to have more of a complete team because of it.
Mitchell Price waiting for John Kidd's beautiful spiral at the 8. Good move. And steps out of bounds. Oh, what a collision at the 29. He had stepped out back at the 19. Jeff Mills made the push. Martin Bayless in on the tackle. Let's update you on the late scores today. Raiders still with a 3-0 lead at the Kingdome now in the second period. 49ers a slender lead at home. Giants now have scored at Dallas and lead by a touchdown in Minnesota 3-0 at home against New Orleans. Here it's 13-0 San Diego with a minute remaining. First quarter. Play action by Boomer and going deep for McGee. Incomplete and a fine defensive play. Sam Seal.
Seals is right with his man, and McGee just didn't have a chance to make a reception. You know, he tripped. A few years ago, they might have called a pass interference on something like that.
Well, that's like the stewards looking at a inquiry picture in racing that looked as if the two athletes really both bumping into each other as they went for the ball, so it's no flag.
Again, no huddle. Somebody's going to wear down. The Bengals are putting the pressure on the Chargers with no huddle, but they can wear out.
Quick throw to Brown, and a good one, tackled at the 28, a yard shy of a first down. Donald Frank made the stop. It's 3rd and 1. Billy Ray Smith was blitzing on the play.
No one touched Smith. Now the Bengals are going to have to deal with that because they're getting unblocked people to Boomer's right, and Boomer being left-handed can't see those people. Something has to be done to that side. Again, no huddle, lining up quickly, calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
Final seconds, first quarter. 3rd and 1. Brooks, James Brooks, and he's stacked up. Joe Phillips, 315 pounds of nose tackle, number 75, stuffed the play.
Well, Phillips was lined up over Ken Moyer. Ken could not handle him.
And that's the end of the quarter. The Chargers 13-0.
The Cardinals could come up, play Philadelphia in Philadelphia, anywhere close, and they win it.
Jerry Mays, free agent from Georgia Tech, back at the 28, is Lee Johnson, the left-footed punter for Cincinnati. Wobbly to Mays, no fair catch, and he has to absorb quite a blow. Mitchell Price downfield in a hurry. Here it's 13-0. Let's go to New York and Bob Costas.
Okay, Dick, here's the upset you were talking about. Al Del Greco, less than half a minute to play. His 3rd field goal of the 4th quarter. One of them was a 50-yarder. This one is good from 42. Joe Bugle celebrates his team a 2-touchdown underdog and trailing 14-0 in the first quarter. Comes back and wins at Philly, 23-21.
Cincinnati is going to have to do more attacking defensively. At this point, they're absorbing too much, and that big Charger line's getting an edge on them in virtually every play.
Oh, his butt drilled by Carl Zander, the 6-year linebacker from Tennessee. What a classic tackle.
That's what they'll need. Zander unblocked, just made the most of it right down the middle on Butts. And Butts is actually bigger than Zander. So you'll see one of the real stops in NFL football right down the middle. That's just what the coaches draft people for, train them for. And, of course, Zander with that great heart.
15 pounds lighter on that collision, and what a hit. 2nd and 10. That's Wilson in motion. Butts again. Oh, running through tackles and across the 35 to the 36. 3rd down and 4. Ronnie Harmon replaces Butts. Tolliver guns it. There's Anthony Miller with another 1st down catch.
Hope that he finally would. There's the shot. There's the throw. And Miller, what a great athlete. What an agile athlete. Such flexibility to get a ball running in full stride. 127 yards. I'm sure Tolliver, this is something new to Tolliver to have this kind of success early in the game.
62 of those yards on 3 catches by Miller. 1st down right at the 50. Bernstein on a delay. And he's to about the 46-yard line, a gain of 4.
He's doing it pretty well.
53, Courtney Hall, who was a college freshman at Rice at age 16. And when they tested him as a senior in the pre-draft camp, he just really had eyes bulging, didn't he?
He had the hot, Dickey had the hot.
2nd down and 6, Tolliver. Throws it away. Caravella well covered by Carter. Now, there are some hazards, though, when you are calling plays with signals, because some habits, like if you didn't like something, pinch your nose, you're telling him something wrong. Do you ever have any embarrassing
Well, I told you earlier, didn't I?
What
I did this. Finally, they needed a Hail Mary signal. We didn't have anything. It was this. I said, Hail Mary will be this. 1st quarter, I go, boy, what a great game to myself. Hail Mary!
No, not in the 1st quarter. 3rd down and 6. The Chargers leading 13-0 early in the 2nd quarter. Tolliver down the middle, complete. Oh, what a hit and a fumble. Let's see if it was. The ball was ruled dead. No fumble, even though Miller was cracked by David Fulcher, the big safety for Cincinnati. They say the ball is dead. What a catch in traffic by Miller.
Again, no pressure on Tolliver. Again, we see this. Nothing there so he can drill the ball. Look at that catch in traffic. This is one of our great ones in the game today.
Oh, that's a fumble.
And the ball was out of there.
That's going to be reviewed, and Cincinnati should get the ball clearly not free before Miller was down.
Clearly there.
Here's the hit by Fulcher. See, the ball's free there already.
It's out. It is out.
Miller, Fulcher was voted with his great play last weekend in the Jets' victory as the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and he comes up with a mighty big hit here to put a...
Look.
Here's Brooks. That's the snake eyes approach by Sam White on a turnover. Come right in quickly and execute a play without the huddle, but they don't get anything big. They do get about 6.
No huddle again, but the idea with a quick turnover, the defense is somewhat shaken up, getting to the field, try a pass or a more high-risk play. Boomer that time throw to the short receiver, but again, no huddle. Sam is trying to get this Charger defense off balance. He's yet to get it done. The Chargers are holding up very well.
Rodney Holman, the all-pro tight end, his first. And that'll give the Bengals a 1st down out at the 38-yard line. Junior Seau, number 55, and Gary Plummer, 50, made the tackle.
The idea would be that as long as Boomer is near that center, the Charger defensive linemen have to stay in a ready position. And there's hope that there's some fatigue and weariness that comes out of that.
The quickie outside to Brown. Makes two cornerbacks miss, and finally out of bounds at the Charger 48-yard line. Martin Bayless made the tackle, 14 yards. Boomer to Eddie Brown.
The minute Boomer's throwing that ball, he's looking back over at Sam White for the next signal. Sam is getting the signal to Boomer, then no huddle. Boomer already has his message from Sam. Now he's relating it to his players, and the Chargers must sit there as the defense. And the Chargers must sit there as the defensive coach. Ron Lynn of the Chargers is going to have trouble offering the Bengals any kind of special defense because he doesn't have time to be sure to get it to the game.
Esiason to Brown again. Sayal makes the tackle after a 9-yard gain, and a flag is down. A late hit on Boomer appears to be the call.
Brown now has made two very fine catches in traffic with his hands.
Roughing the passer, number 75 of the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Joe Phillips got there late, and they'll tack on 15.
Boomer, the throwing motion is completed. Oh, then there's a hit. That's clearly 15, and often that's disqualification. He went with a helmet. He hit late. No question about it. When that throwing motion is completed, the contact should have stopped. That's the interpretation by Art McNally and his officiating crews. And Boomer had it looked like half a second before the contact was there.
Boy, he's on his feet all right. He took quite a shot to the chin. First down, San Diego 24. Less than 10 minutes to go first half, and the Chargers lead 13-0.
This is interesting. What could it be?
It could be, would they be reviewing that last penalty to see how serious that foul by Phillips was?
4 or 5 step helmet into the head. Now that'll be a fine, I believe, from the commissioner's office, a major fine.
Here's James Brooks. And the clever veteran is inside the 20 before Vincey Glenn and Donald Frank can make the hit.
Pure speed by Brooks did it. He was really outflanked and just turned it on and got his 5 yards out of the play before people could recover and get him. Again, no huddle.
His idol was Charlie Joyner, the great wide receiver with the Chargers, who is now an assistant coach here in San Diego.
He believes he can play as long as Charlie did, and maybe he won't have those kind of records, but his longevity for his size is amazing.
He's really lived up to being drafted in the first round. Here's the rookie, Green. Harold Green all the way to the 10-yard line. Glenn with a low tackle, but Green showing you his long-legged strides. He is remindful of Dwayne Thomas.
What's more important in a sense, Ken Moyer pulling and trapping, as well as his tight end coming from the other side of the formation. Excellent job of blocking, plus the reading of the play. This is all the kinds of things you do in training camp paying off right this minute. The timing of that running play was excellent.
Ball is spotted right outside the 10. Boomer to Brooks, wide open, touchdown, and what a catch! Oh my, James Brooks, the ball thrown behind him, and he makes a spin even though he was wide open. A terrific play for the Bengals' first touchdown.
A play pass by Boomer. You see him faking. Now Brooks is sneaking out of the backfield, and most often a linebacker is there to cover it, and Billy Ray Smith just couldn't stay with him.
Boy, that's a baseball-type acrobatic outfielder catch.
Beautiful job. Just that great agility to turn your body in completely the other direction.
Now, this is an important extra point for Jim Breach, because if he makes it, he ties an NFL record. And so he does. 151 consecutive games. Jim Breach has scored to tie Fred Cox's NFL mark.
DC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. By AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. And by Miller Genuine Draft. cold filtered for real draft taste. So get out of the old, get into the cold.
13-7 now, San Diego. An impressive 75-yard drive, and there's Jim Breach, the guy from California with a size 5 shoe, and now at the top of the list with Fred Cox. 151 straight games he has scored at least 1 point. Lee Johnson down to Donald Frank at the goal line. Frank to the 21. Let's go down all the other NFL scores. These are the finals. Winners are Miami, the Lions, the Bears. Jets and the Rams win today. Their first wins of the season. New England gets its first win. And Phoenix with a big upset at Philadelphia. Late games, Raiders, Seattle tied in the second. Niners got a touchdown pass. Montana to Rice. They lead by 14 over the Redskins at Candlestick. 14-7 Giants at Dallas, and Minnesota with a safety apparently an 8-0 lead against New Orleans, and the Cincinnati Reds have a 9-3 lead over the Dodgers. Last report, 7th inning. Tolliver.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
That's McEwen. Incomplete. Well covered. No flag. Wilcox had position despite the fact there was a bump. McEwen actually initiated it, knowing he had no chance to catch the ball.
The Bengals seem like they're beginning to adjust to this formation problem when he feels a lot of heat on it.
And that line of Floyd, Hall, Cornish, Richards, Thompson. Thompson's the only man who started there last year, but he was at left guard. Quickie outside. Wilson. And he can't get out of that Bengal corral as Walker and Sanders surround him and bring him down after a short gain at the 29. Third down. A long 2. And they give it to the fullback, Butts. And with all that power, he gets close to the 31. From here, it would appear he's a little short. They had him
a full yard back, 250 pounds with his pads down. They couldn't get to his legs, and he looked like he might have powered to get to it.
Come on, I'm going to do it.
Well, here's an example. See, contact's there, 2 yards behind on it. Look at the drive. Still going, still going, still going. And the ball carriers, in this case Xander, didn't get his body between Butts and that first down marker and let him swing forward for that extra foot or 2.
So they drive alive for San Diego. Chargers 13, Bengals 7. 6.5 minutes left before halftime. Tolliver to throw. He wants a big one. He goes long for Wilson. Oh, too long. The big redhead, could he gun the ball? I think you had that quarterback contest, that NFL competition we enjoyed yesterday. If they had had a velocity contest, I'd have to put my ticket on this guy.
He would have broken.
Just because the level of competition isn't good. I don't know. You throw at 92, somebody better take notice. Second and 10. Oh. Deflected downfield through the hands of Miller.
Now that was a problem with the velocity because it was thrown too hard. Miller just couldn't stay with that ball. We talked with Miller. He said when that ball leaves his hand, you'd better concentrate because it's coming at you like a bullet. And you really have to have your hands in position to handle it. You can't just absorb that ball.
Very tight spiral as you look at almost 2-1 advantage the Chargers over the Bengals. But Cincinnati, after falling back 13-0 and seeing the Chargers drive with the fumble by Miller at the Cincinnati 25 and the big hit by Fulcher set up the Bengal drive. Harmon in the backfield now, 3rd and 10. And the throw over Wilson's head.
He wants to have them raised in the Texas style with velocity.
What's his son's name, 2-year-old?
What is his son's name?
How about the capital of Texas?
Oh, that's right.
Austin.
Yeah, that's right.
The punt by Kidd takes a San Diego bounce to Mitchell Price, and Gary Plummer has him at the 21-yard line. Timeout. 6:02 left, first half. And the Bengals, Cincinnati trying to jump out to a 2-0 lead as they did in their Super Bowl year 2 seasons ago. And the Chargers looking for a home opener victory. 13-7 as Boomer Esiason takes over at the 21. 6:02 left first half. Intercepted by Vincie Glenn. Well, from Cincinnati. Bernstein hit in the backfield by Tim Crumry. No, make that David Grant. Grant, number 98, in for Crumry on the nose. And the 3-year veteran from West Virginia who will celebrate his 25th birthday tomorrow.
Chances like this, and they're going to make something else happen. And it just put the Bengals that much further down.
Tolliver eases up on that one, and McEwen has a first down. 4:35 left in the half. First down at the Cincinnati 35. Butts outside. What a straight arm. 20, 15, 10. He's all the way to the 7-yard line. 8 yards on that carry. He used both finesse and power, and it's first and goal. They spot it at the 8. Butts again. Right into the thick of the pile. Might have gotten a yard.
Richards that time, excellent blocking. Eric Floyd's done a fine job, and of course Courtney Hall with just a few days experience and exposure to the vision. Doing very, very well. Bengals have to attack. They have to attack now.
Tolliver trying to add to that 13-7 lead. It's Butts again. Down to the 1. Scrambling even on the flat of his back. He was digging for more.
This time he bent back behind Frank Cornish, the center's block, and Crumry just happened to move just enough so that they could break right in behind it and split it.
Good block by Caravello, the H-back on Crumry, and the ball spotted outside the 1. Tolliver wants a timeout. 2 full at the 2. Marion Butts has outrushed the Cincinnati attack by plenty this first half. And they'll be focused on him on this 3rd and 2. No, he's come out, and Ronnie Harmon has gone in.
The Bengals quickly noted it and sent in a different defensive unit, apparently looking for Harmon. In this case, Harmon in the flat with the ball. There he goes.
He's knocked off, so Tolliver throws incomplete and almost intercepted by Fulcher. He had his hands on it. Walter Wilson was the intended target, and Harmon is such an obvious choice for a defense, isn't he? And they just picked him off.
He was down already. So now Tolliver's got to find someone quickly. It was very evident what the Chargers were going to do. The Bengal coaches, Dick LeBeau upstairs, spotted it, sent in a different group of people.
Reveiz, a 19-yard field goal, and he is good. Juan Reveiz gives the Chargers more than a touchdown lead at 16-7.
That demonstrates what a pass interception can do. It can seem almost harmless, but when the Chargers got the ball at midfield with the momentum they have developed offensively, the Bengals again were hurt. So Boomer on his pass interception. Fortunately, it was a 3-point interception and not a 7-point interception.
Yeah, but earlier Billy Ray Smith had the interception in the first quarter. That led to 7. So, well, actually 6 as the extra point was blocked. So 9 of the Charger points off interceptions. Bengals rallied last week against the Jets. They were down in the 4th quarter by 10 and won 25-20. Billy Ray Smith, we understand, has suffered an abdominal muscle pull. We don't know how serious. Had that key interception in the first quarter that led to a touchdown. And that becomes 9 points for San Diego.
The Bengals just aren't moving the ball well enough to allow for an interception. If they were dominating the line of scrimmage and moving the ball at will, then an interception might not hurt. But at this point, the San Diego defense is rising to the occasion in a sense. Their tactics have been good, and because of the pass protection problems, Boomer is just not having the day he should.
Reveiz with his first field goal as a Charger now kicks it toward the sidelines, and it will go out of bounds away from Stanford Jennings, and it's the 35-yard line to the Bengals.
10 on the 35-yard line.
Cincinnati with 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout coming up in 29 seconds.
Marion Butts could be a big factor in the second half too, Dick, because as people tire, that big 250-pound back starts breaking tackles. So this is a critical drive for the Bengals because they're going to have to get some kind of score out of it with these last little over 2 minutes remaining. Got to get something because they're in for trouble in that second half with Butts.
Boomer getting away from Phillips, but not from Grossman, and a flag goes down. And Leslie O'Neal and Grossman chasing Boomer out of bounds, and the officials ruled that they didn't need to make the hit. He was already across the sidelines.
The offensive tackles are having some problems with pass rushers. Up inside Phillips, now coming outside. There's that pursuit. Now they have to lay off. He's out of bounds. Oh, it didn't look that bad. They'll protect the quarterback.
Unnecessary roughness, number 91 on the defense. First down.
You want to protect the quarterback, but if you put yourself in O'Neal's shoes, about the time you let up on that, Boomer puts on the brakes and goes upfield, and then you look like a fool.
Right.
Not that he had any intent there, but we have seen it done.
Well, he was going out of bounds, but he was still a legal tackle.
Oh, the penalty takes it to the 45. James Brooks for about 5. And we have the 2-minute timeout. Inspiration here in San Diego this week after the loss to Dallas last. 2nd and 5. 2 minutes to go in the half. Boomer broken up and almost intercepted. No interception, but Glenn trapped the ball, and what a play he made. They got Vincey Glenn from the New England Patriots for a number 5 pick, and he's been an outstanding safety.
He's filled out that position.
Nice throw to Brown. First down at the 30. And Boomer had to throw through a lot of defensive trees. He was being surrounded. Timeout, and that'll give Cincinnati 1 remaining timeout. 1:44 to go in the half. Sam White's trying to cut into the Charger lead.
Reasonably well, but again, Boomer couldn't lean forward and throw the ball. And as long as Boomer has to sort of lean back to avoid the rushers, he's not going to get that ball thrown as accurately as he wants.
Changing the play. Two seconds on the clock as he throws deep down the middle for Brown. Touchdown, Eddie Brown. Gil Byrd has his hands right in on the play, but Brown, with great concentration, makes it 16-13.
What a show we've gotten from Eddie Brown today. He's made 3 major catches. That one, it looked as though Byrd had a hand in, and from our angle, it didn't look like Brown could conceivably catch it, and he came up with it.
30 yards on the throw. Boomer to Brown. And Eddie Brown has 109 yards on 6 catches already in the half between those 2 great wide receivers, Anthony Miller and Eddie Brown. We're seeing something. Breach adds the extra point. And that blocked extra point earlier by Francis may indeed be a very big play in this game.
This time, Boomer gets his room to throw the ball. You see him lean into the throw. Now, that is a tough throw. That's an interception pass really through Bird's hands to Brown. So his concentration had to be almost instinctive. That ball went through one man's hands right into his. A little fortunate for the Bengals, but now they're back in it. Now they can go in at halftime if they can hold off the Chargers, and Sam can put together what it'll take to move the football, because Butts, I can guarantee you, will have a good second half. He is so big, so strong. It's a nice day, but people are still going to be somewhat fatigued trying to handle him.
That was a 6-play, 65-yard drive, and Eddie Brown, boy, most athletes would take that for any game. He's got a half dozen over 100 yards in less than a half. the Chargers feel, while their weakness may be that young offensive line, they are strongest over last year at the improvement in special teams. They really have a sense that they're going to have some big kickoff returns. Well, they started the game today with a 40-yard return, and they've got Nate Lewis and Darren Nelson, the veteran, back. Larry Pasquale, who was very popular as the special teams coach at New York with the Jets, has joined the Chargers. Johnson's kick. Nope. Oh, Lewis almost came out. In fact, his foot touched the goal line, but the ball was still in the end zone, and that's what counts. Touchback at the 20. Touchback at the 20.
Tough young guy, and he's going to give his opponent all kinds of problems.
From the 20 with 1:34 left in the half, the Chargers have just one timeout left. And it's Harmon. Gain of 4.
The Bengals can get it back. I'm sure that Sam White has a formula to at least get 3 points. So the Chargers now are going without a huddle rather than take a chance with any kind of an interception.
2nd and 6. Wide open is Harmon. He heads for the sidelines. Gets a good block. Still on his feet, but he doesn't go out of bounds. The veteran stays in bounds, so the clock will run. Anthony Miller threw a terrific block to free Harmon for an extra 15 yards.
Miller was in perfect position, but there was no coverage on the play. No one there to cover Harmon in a situation like this. A blown coverage cost them.
But Harmon also cost time by not going out of bounds, and Tolliver throws this one out of bounds. 35 seconds left and one timeout remaining for the Chargers.
Over the center position, all the time Tolliver needs, but look, no one there.
Now watch the block coming up by Thompson. Right here.
Excellent position. Sprinting straight up the field, and he's got to go out of bounds in this case. Got to step out, and that would have saved them possibly a field goal. Time for a field goal.
Anthony Miller with the block. First down at the 45. 2nd down and 10 now.
No pass rush.
And he throws it in a place where they weren't going to get much anyway, and it was intended for Miller, as Tolliver stops the clock with 30 seconds. 3rd and 10. They're out of field goal range at the Bengal 45.
Tolliver is getting excellent protection. Excellent. And again, in one case, that beautiful arm, that quick arm, pays off for him. In another case, puts way too much velocity on him.
Are you baseball fans here in Cincinnati? Be pleased to note the Reds leading the Dodgers 9-5, top of the 9th inning. Sidelines. What a catch by Miller. Heavy traffic. And they say he didn't get out of bounds.
That's hard to believe.
He had to be out of bounds. They have a timeout, but they don't use it. He's just going to throw it in the ground. He does, to stop the clock with 8 seconds. Boy, I'd like to go back and see why they didn't stop the clock. Certainly he wasn't in the control. He along the sidelines, and Miller still arguing. Let's see the end of that play involving Miller on the sideline.
Tolliver, plenty of time, steps into the throw, drills it. Miller has it clearly there.
How can that not be?
How can that not be? I think they're trying to say that Miller tried to get out of bounds to stop the clock, and making an effort to do that, they can interpret it as delaying the game, and they can keep the clock going.
Wow.
It's hard to believe they'd do that.
I mean, the spirit of the whole play is that you're playing sidelines, you make the catch, get out of bounds. 8 seconds to go. Time for one play. And then possibly a field goal. And there's Harmon out of bounds at the 27. That gives Revés another 6-7 yards closer to the uprights, and here he comes in a 16-14 game.
Excellent tactics. Get your back in the flat, out of bounds, run directly out of bounds. Don't try to advance the ball. Move in a little bit closer.
Cincinnati, number 3.
So it'll be about a 44-yard, 45-yard field goal attempt.
The footing cannot be very good.
44 yards. It's long enough. No good. Wide to the left. First 30 30 minutes here at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, and the Chargers have just a 2-point lead, and Dan Henning cannot be pleased about that, Bill Walsh. His offense generated 300 yards in 30 minutes, and yet they have only a 2-point lead.
Well, it's true, but 16 points could have been 17 for Dan Henning at one half. Half is pretty good in recent years, and those 300 yards look pretty good because they've kept the Bengals off the field.
Yeah, that's well taken. In the last 42 games played by San Diego, they've scored 30 points or more only once. Let's look at the halftime statistics before we see some outstanding plays. Well, we're good. There we are. See, 300 yards for San Diego, 154 for the Bengals, who stay within 2, and that Francis blocked extra point's a big one. Almost 2-1 in possession time for San Diego, but they couldn't collect all the beans that they were looking for. Here's a terrific touchdown run after a short pass by Ronnie Harmon.
He gets the ball uncovered. That's what should concern the Bengals at halftime. 3 times in this game so far, Ronnie Harmon's come out of the backfield uncovered. So they're going to have to account for him. Once he catches the ball, he is so deadly.
And so Ronnie Harmon paying his first dividend, his first touchdown as a Charger. And now Eddie Brown, this is a touchdown that pulled the Bengals to within 16-14, threading it through. Boomer, as Bird unable to deflect it. Brown with a catch. He had over 100 yards in reception, 6 catches in this first half. So really some outstanding individual play.
Well, if I
for himself and Cincinnati. We start the second half. It comes down to Stanford Jennings. And a man who returned a kickoff for a touchdown 2 years ago in the Super Bowl against the 49ers. And it appeared that touchdown might just win it for Cincinnati. Gets it out to the 25-yard line. 2016.
Again, no huddle. Out at the line of scrimmage.
And it's James Brooks for only a yard. Final in baseball, the Reds beat the Dodgers 9-5.
Well, when this started, we spoke of the probability that the Bengals would not run that well against this defense. The Bengals have been noted for one of the better running games in football for a number of years, but they've lost some of their offensive linemen, Montoya as an example, but they're running against some real premier players, and Billy Ray Smith, Lee Williams, Phillips, Grossman.
Boomer to the sidelines through the hands of Tim McGee. McGee, who caught 6 passes against the Jets to lead the Bengals last Sunday, but it's been Eddie Brown's day in San Diego today with a half dozen.
Boomer just rushed that pass. He is not a bit gun shy, but he's been pushed a little bit too hard by that pass rush and is throwing prematurely at this point.
We talked about Billy Joe Tolliver and his fine high school baseball career. Well, Boomer can match it in high school in Long Island. He was 15-0 as a senior left-handed pitcher. He's got a man open, almost intercepted, and then it's right back to Eddie Brown, and a first down at the 41. Brown had it, lost it. It appeared it was going to be intercepted, and it went right back to Eddie Brown.
Amazing. That could have been disaster for the Bengals. Again, the ball is pushed. Boomer has a little more time this time, although there's the push again, and right through the hands, back out of the hands. Brown actually stole it from Frank. And Grossman again is this time beating Brooks. Now that's not too hard to do. Grossman, one of the better pass rushers against a 185-pound back.
First down, they mark it at the 39-yard line. And now the rookie Harold Green can't find a hole, maybe a yard to the 40. Sammy Seal coming up to support.
I've got a feeling that Sam Whites will start throwing on first down at soon, because right now they're stuffing the run on first down, forcing Boomer to throw on second down. I think that first down play pass would be in order. Again, Sam signals in the play, calls the play, takes a lot on himself in each one of these games, putting everything together.
Billy Ray Smith is not in there. Henry Rolling, 57, is the linebacker for San Diego. Little misdirection. And a good piece of running by Green out to the 46-yard line as he broke a couple of tackles. Leslie O'Neal finally brought him down.
O'Neal off major surgery, out for a year. Many people feeling he'd never return to the game, is now returning to his original form. Whether he ever can reach that or not we can't be sure, but he's really a force to be reckoned with.
Well, he made the Pro Bowl last year after logging 12.5 sacks. Bert Grossman, he had 10 sacks, and Lee Williams led with 14. They can really get after the quarterback, these Chargers. 3rd and 3. Play action, and Boomer has a man wide open. Rodney Holman, the tight end, finally knocked out of bounds at the San Diego 37 by Martin Bayless.
Holman had gone in motion, then drifted into the flat after the play had been faked the other way, and the Chargers dropped their coverage on him, just backed off, looking for someone deeper down the field. You saw Holman go by. Now, as Boomer looks back out, the Chargers just released him, assuming he wouldn't get the ball. That's where that play faking can be so effective by Esiason. By the way, Sam White's just one of the best play pass, I guess you'd call it fakers, that doesn't sound very good, that I've seen.
The defender?
Well, he wanted Walter Wilson on the other side to run a hitch, stop, and then sprint again. But the Bengals were in a different coverage. They had a safety man, Fulcher, covering deep, so Tolliver came back over here. Good decision by the young quarterback. I think people here really miss Paul Brown. I sure missed the guy, and I was hoping I could see him when I came down to do the game. He has done so much to help me with my career and all the training I had under that man.
But he didn't hire you as the head coach, and that was one of the great disappointments of your life.
Well, it was, but it worked out for everybody.
2nd down 6. The quickie is complete. Miller one step from a touchdown. Carter makes the tackle at the 26-yard line. 8 catches for Anthony Miller. He now leads Eddie Brown by 1.
What a show. Miller's catching it short and long, which is sort of a cliche, but the key, the short passes, he's taking punishment and holding on to the ball. The long passes, his speed is paying off. He's become a total football player, complete player.
Eddie Brown has 1 yard more, 121 to 120.
And Eddie is a similar athlete. They can dominate a game.
On 1st down, it's Rod Bernstein. Bernstein, a 1st down to the 13. Well, there's no relief for that defensive line. Butts is 250, and then they bring in Bernstein at 238.
Richard and Thompson both pulled and trapped. He had 2 men through the hole. Here you can see them coming toward us. Excellent trap. There's Thompson through the hole, and a clean blocked play. Again, the Bengals tend to be absorbing the blockers at this point and not attacking.
Leading 16-14, San Diego, a 1st down at the Bengal 13-yard line. 48-year-old Dan Henning. His team has played well today.
Unbalanced line this time for the first time today.
Bernstein toppled at about the 8-yard line, a gain of 5. Now, Bernstein isn't just a thought over the winter, let's make a running back out of him. He was a tailback at Texas A&M through his sophomore year. Then they switched him to tight end.
A great all-around athlete. Again, his blocking as a tight end hasn't been strong enough for him to take that position. Arthur Cox, by the way, a 270-pound tight end on that last play, destroyed his man. So those big, massive people from San Diego are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Miller wide to the right. Caravello in motion. And it's Bernstein again. Now that's too much dancing before deciding where to go in the hole. You're not going to be able to make much up the middle when you hesitate quite that much.
Well, they're giving Marion a little bit of a break, figuring in the 4th quarter that they can control the ball with Butts. Controlling.
Time remaining in the 3rd period. San Diego leads by 2. 3rd down and a long 5. Ball rests on the 8-yard line. Wilson to the right and Miller to the left this time for Tolliver, with Bernstein the solo back behind him. The quickie, no one there except the Bengals. He threw it right to Billups, and Billups has only 2 men to beat. He gets by Tolliver, but Bernstein saves the touchdown.
Tolliver thought it was a hitch, and Wilson thought it was a slant. So as Tolliver threw the ball, Wilson was releasing right by it, and those are the miscommunications that make the difference.
Big interception line. Lewis Billups with the Chargers inside the 10-yard line, and here comes James Brooks. slashing his way to a first down at the 42. Let's go back to Billups' interception on a misfire by San Diego's pass combination.
Tolliver throws the ball and his receiver's looking the other way. You can see that Wilson wanted to get a slant. Tolliver thought it was a hitch, and Sam can't believe what he's seeing there. He was on the verge of being thrown out of the game in a sense, because 7 points might have knocked him out of it with just a quarter remaining. But here he is with the ball again. I think he's got some ideas now, I'm sure, they've got to score at this point. They can't just wait and wait and wait.
Brooks again twisting for a couple to the 44-yard line.
I just believe that, Dick, I believe that they've got to throw the ball. He just can't keep hammering like this. They've got to get a big chunk of yardage before they really go to their running game again.
Brooks goes out, and the rookie Harold Green now in at running back.
Big blitz.
Bert Grossman, 92, gets a hand on it as Boomer just did unload before he was hit.
The Chargers just feel free to blitz, and the Bengals aren't really getting much done about it. You see, sooner or later, there's Phillips. Sooner or later, there's just all that pressure, and Boomer held the ball too long that time.
99 Lee Williams was the man who made the hit. Grossman got a hand on the pass. He's related to Randy Grossman, who is the tight end with the Steelers, won 4 Super Bowl rings. It's his cousin. Third down and 8. And Eddie Brown knocked out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So Brown has his 8th catch of the day, and his totals now are going to be up around 150.
Esiason moved away from Grossman that time, slid back away from him to his right. You'll see him setting up. He's got the pressure from his right. Now he slides outside, gives himself room, throws a line shot to Brown. Now they've got field position. If they can assure themselves of a field goal, they can go ahead and run the ball.
Eddie Brown, one of the many great wide receivers out of Miami of Florida, 100.5 as the Bengals have a first down deep in San Diego territory at the end of the third quarter in San Diego. In the fourth quarter in San Diego, where Charger fans have to be nervous 3 times last year, leading going into the fourth, only to lose to Denver, Pittsburgh, and the Jets. Then last week at Dallas led 14-7, and the Cowboys rallied 17-14 win. You figure those 3 games last year, you turn those around to wins. Instead of 6-10, they're 9-7, and maybe a playoff team. They're that close. Here's Green, dragged down, and may have fumbled. Now he hangs onto it at the 23-yard line as Henry Rolling, drafted by Tampa Bay 3 years ago, and they like him a lot. Rolling, number 57, is 6'2" and 225 pounds. Good speed. Rush the passer, can hold his own on the ground game. He's playing for Billy Ray Smith, who was injured in the first half, a muscle pull after Smith had intercepted a pass that led to a Charger touchdown.
Ken Moyer that time trapped beautifully for the Bengals. Both their guards are doing an excellent job trapping, and their extra tight end leading through the hole.
Briggs, the tight end in motion, play action. Rodney Holman, Pro Bowl tight end, knocked out of bounds at the 19-yard line. It'll be a couple of yards shy of a first down. Bird and Bayless collaborated on the tackle. There's Holman. Boy, you could hear the coaches say, Rodney Holman, he does everything right.
Sure does. They have an excellent way of slipping their tight end into the flat late, play passing, and then hitting him. This is a critical play, Dick, because without the first down, they're going to have to kick a field goal off that soft infield. And they need the lead right here. The Bengals need the lead. They can't afford to waste another chance.
Holman threw a shoe, as you saw, so he's out of there on 3rd and 2. Did he get in bounds? Yes. Eddie Brown again. What a game he is having. Brown with another catch to make it 9, 5 yards and a first down.
Boomer had to really fit this one in. Everybody's walling off defenders so that Brown can get in the flat, and they do a good job of it.
Oh, he didn't get in. They'll review that one. That one will be for review. It did look tight, and that left foot appeared to be a little late getting in. Here's another shot at it. 1 foot,
Right
left foot. Well, no,
Oh, no,
the
it
left
looked
foot
like-
was
yeah,
down when he caught it.
Yeah, it was.
So
That
that's
was
the kind of thing
third
you review.
step.
Yep. Who's going to argue with Eddie? Sorry about that, Mr. Brown. 9 catches, 155 yards. They continue to.
Timeout number 1 for Cincinnati.
And the Bengals will call a timeout. Score 16-14 San Diego. Will return after these messages from your local station. First down at the San Diego 13. Cincinnati closing in on their first lead of the game.
I'm sure that White's reminded Esiason that a field goal will win this, or at least put the pressure on San Diego.
Brooks gets away from it. No, he didn't have the ball, and Leslie O'Neal knew who did as he sacks Esiason. Great play action, and it carried out well by Brooks, but O'Neal didn't buy it for a moment. Didn't buy it for a moment.
The Chargers are just charging, coming straight up the field. Now there's the play fake. Esiason slipping, and in that case he's vulnerable. He can't avoid anybody.
O'Neal just passed him by. So he said to Brooks, okay, tapped him on the helmet. You can go on through here because I'm going there. And a big loss on first down.
They have to think field goal at this point. That's what they have to prepare, set up, doing.
Second down 20. Brooks. And Joe Phillips makes the initial hit. Henry Rolling finished him off.
Well, with Grossman and Williams coming up the field, O'Neal coming up the field, and normally Billy Ray Smith in the lineup, plus that Junior Seau, this is an excellent defensive unit. They don't quite have the speed in the secondary that you'd want, but otherwise, excellent. Sam's got to get another 5 yards to assure a field goal.
Third down and 20. Looking for Brown. Throwing for Brown. Touchdown! Oh my! Flag is down.
That might have been offensive pass interference. Brown's hands were out at the end.
Donald Frank is claiming that he was pushed by Brown. And they're going to powwow there in the end zone. Why don't we review it as they look at it? He was looking for Brown all the way.
He had Brown starting to the post, going back out.
Pass interference on the defense number 27. That penalty is declined. It's ruled as a touchdown.
Eddie Brown's 10th catch of the game delivers his second touchdown, and the Bengals lead for the first time 20-16.
What a hookup. Esiason to Brown when the pressure's on. Brown's receptions themselves have been the exciting part of this. His body position, changing it, turning, jumping, leaping, making the play.
He's now 2 catches from a new Cincinnati single game record. 11's the record. He has 10. Eddie Brown Day in San Diego, and the Bengals lead 21-16. 7 minutes, but they finally lead in the game for the first time. 21-16 on the second Boomer Esiason to Eddie Brown touchdown hookup. Lee Johnson has it teed up. Donald Frank and Nate Lewis, 2 rookies, back to return.
Plenty of time. Billy Joe Tolliver just can't afford a major mistake again.
Nate Lewis at the 8. He's got speed. And a flag is down as he's tackled at the 29-yard line. And usually that means a block in the back by the...
Of time, but a major error here can finish the Chargers, and as we pointed out, they've had those kinds of errors in recent years, let alone the Dallas game.
Fake to Butts. Tolliver then throws to Butts. And 3 men finally bring him down after a 9-yard pickup. Let's see what else is happening in the NFL. Let's go to New York. Bob Costas.
Well, here's how Seattle took the lead, Dick. At home, a 19-yard field goal for Norm Johnson gave them the 3-point edge over the Raiders, but just moments ago, the Raiders came marching back. They just scored, and pending the extra point, they lead 16-13 with less than 2 minutes left.
And Bob Costas, as you might have guessed, John David Crow is the answer, but he's not the former host of Home Run Derby. Butts plowing his way to a first down at the 30-yard line. You replace the great runner with the Cardinals, coordinator here, offensive coordinator, and then athletic director at Texas A&M, his alma mater, John David Crow.
What a great player.
You lasted 1 year here, and then
I went to Stanford. Tommy Prothero was partially responsible for that, and it really turned my career around.
Well, they could understand your choice, having been the former coach at UCLA. Fortunate he didn't fumble the ball as Kevin Walker came in from an inside backer position, came around the outside, and blindsided Tolliver.
The Chargers were just outnumbered pass protection wise. There's too many people. They're bringing Fulcher on this side, and the backside is Walker. No one there really to block him. So it finally caught up to the Chargers. The Bengals have made conceivably the key play of the game.
First sack for Cincinnati. Second down, 16. Time for Anthony Miller. Down the field. Incomplete. Intended for Anthony Miller. Late scores. Raiders 17-13 in the fourth at Seattle, 26-13 the Niners up on the Redskins. Apparently the Giants will go 2-0 as they lead big at Dallas, and Minnesota breezing throughout that game against New Orleans at home. Well, if the Giants win, that would pit Giants and Miami, both 2-0 starts at the Meadowlands next Sunday, and we'll have the pleasure of bringing that one to you on NBC.
Contrasting styles, a big heavy-hitting team against the Marino style of offense.
With Sandy Smith now running the ball well today. Tolliver on 3rd and 16, slipping and throwing incomplete right through the hands of Harmon. Tried to run before against Detroit last year. Boobie Clark, Archie Griffin, Chris Collinsworth. Clark and Collinsworth had 10 on several occasions, and Brown almost 10 minutes to get more. 178 yards. He holds a single yardage mark of 216 2 years ago. Here comes Brooks. Oh, what a hit. And Brooks able to get up at the 27-yard line as Phillips and Seau blasting on Brooks.
Brooks really has to be tough and fierce in this case and hold the ball, because losing it here would be trouble. Getting caught in mid-air. 2 or 3 shots right at him. And this is one of the tough campaigners in the game.
Second down and 8.
He'll know he played a game on the way home, but he may be the difference.
He has been. He's to the right, McGee to the left, with Riggs, the tight end, out on a wing right. Seau blitzing, and he forces the low throw by Esiason.
We have a good look at Seau coming right off the corner, full speed. So determined, he just took his blocker right back into the quarterback. 55 right in front of us, taking Brooks right back into Esiason. Just a split second late.
Rare time the Chargers can get a couple of extra defenders on the field as the Bengals use that short sugar huddle, they call it. Mike Barber, second-year man from Marshall, is split left. Brown is the slot right, McGee far right. 3rd and 8. A rare shotgun for Esiason with Brown in motion. Dumps it underneath to Caddis, the tight end. Tackled short of the first down at the 30-yard line by Gilbert.
Well played. They blitzed heavily. Esiason saw it and dumped the ball off, but the coverage people downfield just swarmed the receiver. And again, the Chargers will have one more chance, I would think, to make a legitimate drive. Now later in the game they may have a 2-minute offense or something, but right now they can do whatever they want after they get the ball, running, passing, have plenty of time to do it.
Lee Johnson, 4 punts today, averaging 35. His counterpart, John Kidd, has had a great day punting, 5 for 49-yard average. Fair catch, and no one near him. Oh, my. Jerry Mays, there wasn't a defender within 10 yards of him, takes it at the 32. Timeout. 1-yard run in the 4th quarter with 1.5 minutes to go. Won it for the Raiders. San Francisco still leading by 13. The Giants by 3 touchdowns in Minnesota, an apparent winner.
We haven't called David Coulter's name much today, but he saved that last play. He saved it. He was sitting there looking for that pass.
Marion Butts, and they draw 8 Bengals right to the ball at the 40. That'll be shy a couple of yards of a first down. 48,098 the official attendance here in San Diego today. Their season ticket sales here are up for the first time in several years, and they credit that maybe the first time in NFL history season ticket sales have gone up because they've hired a new general manager. Bobby Beathard has excited the football faithful of San Diego. 100-yard day for Marion Butts, but now a big call for Marion Butts. But now a big call for San Diego, shy of their 40, 3rd and they throw to Harmon, and they're looking for it. Lewis Phillips makes the tackle. That's almost become an automatic call.
They could see it coming. It worked the first time, but now Phillips rotating forward just looked in, saw Harmon coming, and was right there to make the stop. They really telegraphed that play. I can't believe that they figured it would keep being open. On the goal line just a few moments ago it was covered, and when the Bengals see that formation, they're sitting there waiting for the play.
So with 6 minutes to go, it's Price waiting for Kidd's punt. Don't think there'll be a fake here. Another fine high kick. Price is going to run it back. Tripped up at the 26-yard line. Timeout with 5:42 left. On a handoff, straight ahead for short yardage, if any at all. Goes Harold Green. Gary Plummer with a tackle as Sam White signals in the plays. It's very simple. His whole signal system. And then Boomer Esiason, as he talked to us yesterday, Bill, you could just see his eyes brighten when he said, and he's given me a lot more freedom to change calls, make my own calls at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Sam believes Boomer's really matured off the field in a sense, but on the field, he really knows the system and he uses good judgment.
Fake to Green. The throw to Caddis, the tight end, lost his footing. And his touchdown at about the 32-yard line, 3 yards shy of a first down.
Certain thing the Bengals do that you can almost predict, and San Diego just wasn't alert to it. That counter play where he fakes the run, comes out and throws late to a tight end.
Look at this. The Chargers weren't set defensively, and so Brown now throws it high and too long. Well, there's the case intended now for Mike Barber, where in beating the Chargers to the ball and being set, actually, the offense hurried so much that there really wasn't a play.
Wasn't anything there. It was 3rd down and just short yardage. They need to control the ball, not stop that clock with an incomplete pass.
Yeah, the defense was in disarray, but the Bengals do not capitalize. It's 4th and 3.
You know, Dick, the management of a game has become so critical in the NFL. Last week you saw New Orleans make a mistake. The Chargers make a mistake. I understand New England in their judgment in using the clock late in the game. And this was an error here because Sam could have used a lot of time off that clock.
Before the snap, the whistle sounds. Might be delay of game, or let's check. Brett Cashin.
Timeout, San Diego. Timeout number 1.
Wow, Chargers use those very valuable timeouts. 1 gone, 2 remain. 4 timeout call by the Chargers at the last second. And Sam White apparently felt that they didn't call it before the snap. Here it is again. As Lee Johnson sends a wobbler toward Mays. Tough one, and he fumbles. Free ball, and it's picked up by the Chargers. Alertly, Darren Nelson. No, not Nelson, but Sam Seal, number 30. Oh, that was dangerous for San Diego. No wonder coaches have gray hair.
This has been plaguing the Chargers. Now they have a new man to do it, and he mishandles the ball. And they've had this problem all of last year. They thought they had helped themselves, and that basically cost them a chance not only to return it, they lost yardage, and of course could have lost possession.
Well, an alert play by Seal, picking up the rookie Mays mistake.
Well, Mays made the team to return punts. I'm not sure he'll have too many more opportunities off something like that. That's why he's on the team, to catch the punt.
Plenty of time. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left. 21-16 Cincinnati. Chargers start from their 19. Excellent protection. Oh, did he get that ball through there? Yes, to Ronnie Harmon. Talk about forcing a ball in. Harmon was dancing with two partners. He had Bengals on either side. Look at this.
It was just bracketed. And who knows what Tolliver was thinking, but he drilled it right between them. Almost intercepted.
Francis was right there, went right through his hands. And a shot taken by Tolliver as he threw the ball. Son of a truck driver who drove a 18-wheel rig. Marion Butts. This is where you felt Butts would really take charge of the game.
I really did. That time the Bengals just fanned out in their rush, and the Chargers ran a very predictable play again, with Butts just going off tackle. They just can't afford to have those kinds of things happen. They're going to have to get bigger chunks of yardage. They're down to 3 minutes. They just can't expect Butts to take them the length of the field.
Third down. It's closer to a yard than 2, although the scoreboard says 3rd and 2. It's 3rd and a long yard. Down the middle, complete. Anthony Miller fumbles, and the Bengals have it. Lewis Phillips. Phillips, who had the interception down on the 2-yard line in this half.
Good pass protection, steps into it, throws a nice shot across the field. Miller's in excellent position here, but the ball's knocked out from behind.
Anthony Miller.
Ricky Dixon just comes through, puts the hands right up underneath, knocks the ball completely loose.
Oh, the Bengals and that secondary they like to hit. And David Fulcher, he made the big plays today and last week, and now another to get the ball back with 2:47 remaining.
Chargers now have to attack to stop this running game. Here's Brooks.
Bayless gets a hand on him, drags him down. So Anthony Miller has had a terrific day for the San Diego Chargers. 137 yards on 9 catches, but 2 of those have ended in fumbles recovered by Cincinnati.
It is so tough to break from that loser syndrome to become a winner. Sam White went through it. Teams I've coached went through it when Sam worked with me. And the Chargers are struggling with that. Self-destructing in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they led last week at halftime. They led today at halftime 13-7.
Dominating the line of scrimmage. Then some erroneous calls and some mistakes. That awful pass on the goal line that Tolliver threw.
It was 16-14 at half as we come up with a 2-minute timeout. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. Eddie Brown with 10 catches, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miller 9 catches, 137 yards, but 2 critical fumbles that have cost San Diego. And now Esiason on 2nd down and 5 with 2 minutes to go. The Chargers have 2 timeouts left. James Brooks to about the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd and a short 3 and a quick timeout by San Diego. That'll give us a chance to bring up to date on all the scores on this Sunday in the National Football League. Miami goes 2-0. Detroit has split their first 2, and the Bears have allowed only 1 touchdown in their first 2 games, winning at Green Bay. The Jets have their first victory for Bruce Coslett, and the Rams big at Tampa Bay. It was New England squeaking by against the Colts, and Phoenix was stunning Philadelphia. The Eagles at home losing. The Raiders with a late touchdown beat Seattle at the Kingdome, and San Francisco now has defeated Washington. The Super Bowl champs are 2-0. The Giants, that's the final now at Dallas, 28-7, and New Orleans about to be beaten by the Vikings.
You know, one man missing from the Bengals sideline, good friend Dr. George Ballou, who's not feeling well, but I sure miss seeing him on the sideline with Sam White. He was one of the original Bengals and really a mainstay of the organization, and I just wanted to send my regards and NBC's regards.
3rd and 3. Esiason wide open is Rodney Holman. And he has a first down at the San Diego 27-yard line.
You realize, Dick, how many times they've run that play, and it's been open every time. Apparently, the Chargers just don't feel it's something to worry about.
Where's the breakdown?
Over and over.
Well,
there's a linebacker, I'm sure, that has responsibility for that. And when that tight end, Holman in this case, blocks for just an instant, the linebacker loses contact, loses his concentration, and Holman breaks out, and it's going to be wide open.
Well, Billy Ray Smith usually is the linebacker lined up on the tight end. Perhaps his absence with the injury is one of the factors.
That could very well be it.
So now with the clock ticking away, it looks as if the Bengals are going to go 2-0 on the new year, as they've come from behind in both weeks against the Jets at home last week. They fell behind early today, 13-0. Then it was 16-14 San Diego at the half. The only touchdown of this second half was Boomer Esiason to Eddie Brown, 23-yard throw to make it 21-16 as San Diego spends its final timeout. Executive producer of NBC Sports, Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer, NBC Football, John Faratzis. The Cincinnati Chargers game today directed by John Gonzalez. The associate director is John McGinnis. Production associate Carol Larson. Technical manager Bill Perinello. Here are all the other men and women who have made this telecast from San Diego possible. And special thanks to our statistician Elliot Kalb and our efforts in the booth here. Support group Jan Chapman Jr. and Steve Marshall. Boomer Esiason with a kneel down, 53 seconds. And of course, with that 45-second clock now, this is when that just seems almost unjust that much time should go by when you just have to kneel down. But so it is. 17 or more than 100 yards, more yardage than Sam White's Bengals, but the big numbers are on the board on Cincinnati's side. A victory, 21-16. We'll have more from San Diego.
Always sold out for the Seahawks. Tonight they meet the Cincinnati Bengals here on Monday Night Football. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford along with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Happy you're with us as this long NFL weekend comes to a conclusion. We think we have a very interesting matchup for you. The Bengals come into tonight 3-0. They like to remain undefeated with San Francisco, the Raiders, and the Giants. And, of course, for the Seahawks, well, it's a different